Hi, welcome to the First Issue Club. We're your weekly comic book podcast. We're just like Sue Storm. We love a good read. Get it?
Oh, I just got it. I've been hosting this show for a long time. I just got the joke.
How about it? I love it.
How about that? Learn something new every day, guys. You see, because Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, his name's Reed.
His name is Reed.
He's married to Sue Storm.
But also, we read comic books.
A good read.
The best jokes are the ones you need to explain.
That's right. This week, we are going to be at TowerCon. Our good friends at Beskar Books have collaborated with our fine sponsors at Boulevard Brewing Company, who've graciously brought us the Space Camper Cosmic IPA, which today comes in Tall Boys, babe.
Ooh.
We're drinking, how many ounces of beer right here? 19.2 fluid ounces. I have the Space Camper Quantum Hop IPA.
I've got the classic OG Space Camper Cosmic.
Beautiful tasting beer with a lot of varieties for you for whatever flavor profile of IPA you enjoy. All that being said, Boulevard Brewing Company has very graciously loaned out their beer hall to our good pals, Beskar Books, so we can host another TowerCon.
That's right.
And have some vendors selling some comics while people are there to drink some beer, which is such a fun thing to combine a weekend out at the bar with the love of nerddom and comic books and all that stuff.
I cannot tell you how excited I am for this.
Same.
Like, the Tower Tavern was great.
Yes.
I loved Tower Tavern.
Yeah.
The best part about it was you got your comics.
Yep.
You go over to the bar, you have a little drink, a little food. But it's going to be next level at Boulevard.
I think so too. I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
All right. So we're going to record like a little mini episode for our Patreon while we're there.
Oh, yeah.
But for the most part, we'll just be hanging out. We'll have some buttons and things and all that good stuff. So come out, say hey, meet some cool people, and buy some cool comics this weekend if you're in Kansas City.
That's right.
All right. I think we're moving right into
Yeah, it was a slow
comic
news
book
week.
territory.
It was a slow news week, but luckily, Mike D and I, I didn't read a lot, but I have a lot of meat on these bones.
That's right.
A lot of meat to talk about.
Plenty of things to say about the comics that were had.
That's right.
This particular week.
And you said you read 5 books?
I think I read 5 comics. Yeah. 1,
Ooh.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
Perfect.
So we got plenty. I don't know. Is there anything comic booky top of mind for us? I'll say that I am in a period of variant cover from conventions runoff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The hype from some of them is starting to die down, and now I'm like, what can I get my little damn hands on?
Yeah, there you go.
You just by waiting like a week or so, you can start to get the ones that you had major FOMO on for a little more of a realistic price.
Yeah.
So I've acquired a couple throughout the week. I got a couple of the Boom issues and a handful of other little treats that I'm just, I don't know, rationalizing as early Christmas gifts to myself.
Sure. So we're going to have a lot of good unboxing videos.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that's
if
what
I can open those on the show. Any excuse to, if I can make them content, I can write them off in my taxes.
That's right. But we do that all the time. Idiots.
Yep.
That's great. I hadn't thought about that, but you always bring up good points, Mike.
Yeah.
Now is the time to shop for NYCC exclusives.
It is. And I've also seen, speaking of like so many of the like kind of tracking some of those prices going up and down. I've also had another moment where I've like taken a step back and said like, okay, I never sell comic books, but you see so much of the ebb and flow in the industry with like collectors and the moments that books have, and that let's say every once in a while a comic book that's hot continues its escalation. For every one time that happens, there are 100 comics that drop off a cliff
Yes.
in value, right?
Yep. And I buy all of those.
Yeah, exactly. We've got our comic book FOMO, and so does everyone else, and that's why this happens. You don't want to miss the one that kind of transcends. But I mean, I'm really realizing this year as my comic collection begins to grow beyond its boundaries that if I sell the book too early, that transcends a certain level of like fandom, that I'm still better off selling things when they're hot than sitting on stuff.
For sure.
Now, I'm still a collector, not a seller, and that's not going to change anytime soon. But it is something that I think is good for me to be aware of, as I grow ever closer to that stage. That I need to be a little more realistic about like what I have, the moment I have it, because this moment will persist, right? There will always be a thing that gets optioned, and that'll be the week to sign that thing. To sell that thing.
Yeah.
And this week, I'm not selling Southern Bastards.
Right.
That's one of my favorite comics. Jason Aaron is a local Kansas City person who we've had the pleasure of like hanging out with a couple times, and like that comic to me is like something that is special, and it's one I want to own.
Yep.
Right. And that's kind of how I thought about a lot of things. It's like, oh, it's cool that I have the thing that is having a moment.
The hot thing. Yeah. Totally. I agree.
But not capitalizing on it.
Yeah.
Someday I'll get to that. I'm not there yet. But great reminder. And, you know, they're not a sponsor, but Cover Price is one of those sites that I follow and I subscribe to for like, sometimes I use it to check values on comics before I buy them to make sure I'm not overpaying or I'm getting the right deal that I want to get on a particular issue. But they do articles that are retrospectives, and I think they are so important for somebody who is considering selling or someone who is maybe irresponsibly spending on comics, that seeing how the moment of hype every single month, year to year, and then looking at what it looks like 1 year later, 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, 10 years, it 90% of the time is just a rocket ship straight into the Earth's core.
Yes.
So something to think about, and maybe something to watch if you're like really into comic books for like for the money of it all and not for the hobby of it all. Then get a reality check via coverprice.com. It might be worth your money.
For sure.
And I think a lot of us who are, the overwhelming majority of people who are comic book fans are doing it for the love of comics and the stories that we get from them week to week. And I can always say to myself, some people's crutch is cigarettes. You know what I mean?
True.
and I've got buddies who smoke a pack a day, and I don't smoke at all, and I spend that same amount of money on comic books month to month, and I get to hold the thing at the end of the month.
Yep.
That whether it's worth $90 one month and $5 the next, it's still something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's my like emotional comic book PSA this month in lieu of news, I guess.
So I am starting the process of selling some of my books.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I knew this about you.
Going through some of my boxes, pulling out stuff. I'm gonna have a little box at TowerCon this weekend, mostly just to strike up conversations with people, trying to get people to flip through the box and pull this out, and I would love to strike up a bunch of trades. I'm a big Moon Knight fan. If anybody brings a bunch of Moon Knight, let's make a deal. But it's an interesting thing to pull out those like the variants. That's most of what I'm getting rid of. It's like, oh, I bought the A and this other cover that I thought was cool.
Yep.
But it's, you pull out some of them and you're like, I don't even really like this cover anymore. Like
Yeah, sure.
Get it out of here. Like, why do I still have it?
I think there is something about like your comic book collection is a curation of things that you love. And whether you think about it as stories you love or art you loved or like a particular cover type you like, I'm always fascinated by the sub collections that people have within their collection. And if those things no longer serve your taste, maybe it's time to get rid of them. But it is interesting to go through a friend's comic books and say, like, this is an intentional collection that you've curated for yourself. Every week you say, I choose to buy this, but not this.
Yeah.
I spent the extra money to acquire this and not that. Like, that's really interesting to me, like what it says about people as collectors and as like taste in art and how you perceive art in general. Is it more about the content or is it more about the aesthetic? Like, all that stuff speaks to who you are.
Well, Mike, maybe that's the conversation we need to have at TowerCon. You guys can flip through the box of books I'm selling
and be like, what is this guy letting go of?
Yeah, well,
what piece of you?
Yeah, exactly right.
Have you retired?
Why did you buy this?
Yeah.
And why are you getting rid of it?
Mm-hmm.
Both sides hurt.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe that's the conversation we have. So,
yep. So it's always sad to let your hentai go, but
that's right.
Good on you for finally.
You know, there were too many tentacles.
Yeah,
that was the problem.
That's right. Yeah,
that was the problem. So, yeah, it's an interesting process. It's less painful than I thought it would be. To be perfectly honest.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I'll be there at some point.
Well, I'm over the 10,000 mark, and again, it's like, I'm pulling out like, I bought a variant of Ryan North's Fantastic Four #1.
Yeah.
And like, I only bought one issue, didn't read it past issue 1. Get rid of it. There's no reason. Yeah. There's no reason to hold on to it.
Yeah.
If it can bring somebody else joy.
Yeah.
And they missed the variant of #1, you can have my copy.
Yeah. Right.
So
I think there is something about like, sometimes in our head as collectors, we've got a number.
Yeah.
That like I need to hit or transcend 10,000, 5,000, 1,000, whatever it is for you. And then ultimately when you hit that number, is there another number after it until there isn't anymore? And you're like, what have I done?
Yeah.
Like have I teetered into hoarding territory?
Well, I can't, I mean, you're over 10,000 too at this point. You're probably around 11,000.
Right? Yeah. Around 11.
Can you imagine having 20,000 comics?
Yeah, and how far off I am. I probably need to like say like, what are my monthly buying habits and what year will I double this? And like that can't happen.
That's what I mean. Like,
absolutely cannot happen in the house I have and the amount of space I have. I know that like if you're watching on video, you're seeing some comics behind me and this room looks fairly tidy. It is on the precipice of being unsustainable already.
I mean, you've got some empty short boxes over here.
Yes.
But you're like, I'll say 5 short boxes away.
Yeah.
From not having a place to put
max
short boxes.
capacity. Yeah.
So just something to keep in mind, my guy.
Yes.
Not that I'm sure you haven't thought about it, but like the time might be coming sooner than you think.
Yeah, I think it is.
And
am I a storage container guy? I don't want to be.
Don't be a storage container
I don't want to be a storage container guy.
I've got a buddy at work who's a storage container guy because he's a figure collector.
Oh, yeah.
And he's one of those guys that like he pre-orders them and keeps them in the box and whatever. And he showed me pictures of his storage container, and he's got unopened shipping boxes from Hasbro just sitting in this thing.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you never even held the thing in your hands.
Well, yeah, it's like, what's in there? And he was like, I don't know, probably some wrestling figures or something. And it's like, you're actively spending money now to store this thing that's you already spent money on.
Yeah.
It's like, get rid of it.
Yes, totally. When you're at a point where the thing that brings you joy is not even on site.
Yeah.
And you're never even going to like look at it. That's a I guess I don't want to sound judgy and be like that's a person I don't want to be, but it's a situation I don't want to find myself in.
It's a life choice you don't want to make.
Yeah.
So don't be forced to make it.
Yeah, right.
Just get rid of
But
your stuff.
like, here's the thing that we balance as collectors too. Now we started saying there's no news, we're gonna get right into comics, and here we are like 20 minutes later. But I do think it's like I still do feel passionate about like supporting people who are creative.
Oh, totally.
And supporting the like endeavor of comic books as a medium for multiple reasons that I'm not going to get into today, but you can guarantee yourself I've got a whole soapbox speech about like what comics mean to like me and culture at large, and what sort of people write them, and we need that as a medium to persist. And I'm going to continue to do that throughout my life. That is something that continues to bring me joy until it doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
But how do I, as a collector, rationalize what I keep and what I don't keep? Like, that's where I'm really struggling with, like, how to hash this out. There are like books that like I don't think you've got a lot of people who are like, I'm clamoring to get my hands on like a full run of Image Comics Shudder.
Yeah.
But it's like Image Comics Shudder was a huge thing to me, and I'm still missing a couple issues, and I would like to fill those issues in to this run that I have that is incomplete.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but am I pulling those out day to day even though they're in a box right there? No. I haven't looked at them in 4 years.
Yeah.
But am I ready to let them go? No. And what's the difference between those and another thing? I don't know. Will I feel like, hey, a checkbox is complete in my noggin when I do complete that run, and then I'm like, now's the time to I can sell it now.
Yeah.
Because I did the thing. I don't know. I don't know. I need to really do some introspective thinking about what it is about this that I love, and who I am as a collector, and who I see myself being as a collector 10 years from now, and what will I regret, and what will like I enjoy, and just figure all that out for myself.
As someone who's currently going through the process, it feels like the easy place to start is variants. Yeah. Just like because I know you've got boxes and boxes in here of like, you've got the A cover and you have the 1 in 25. Get rid of the 1 in 25.
Yeah.
Or the A cover if you like the 1 in 25 better. Like it might seem like a difficult, daunting task right now.
Yep.
But like I went through the process and it was like, I can get rid of this.
Yeah.
Like
I can think of 2 comics right now that I've got 2 slabbed copies of.
That's
why do I need 2 graded copies of anything?
Yeah.
4. I have 4 comics that I can think of that I've got 2 graded copies of.
Sure.
And here's the situation. Let me explain why I have 2 graded copies. I buy the one. It's something that I'm just like, this is an important character to me. I want their first appearance. And like, it is cool that I own this, and I cherish that. And then what happens is a higher graded one goes up for auction.
As it always does.
It's something that it's an auction that ends at a weird time of day. It becomes like oddly underpriced.
Sure.
And I say, I'm going to all of a sudden have a 9.6 of this when I had a 7.5 before. Yeah. And then I have the 7.5 still in my collection. That's like, why do I have this? So maybe I'll bring my 4 excess slabs
there you go, man.
to TowerCon at Boulevard Brewing Company this weekend.
There you go.
I can add them to your pile of variants you're going to sell.
There you go, man. I think once you have that cash in hand, because not only is it like you're shedding this physical thing that like is sort of taking over your life, but you're also like, hey, I made $40.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a positive.
It like feels
a net positive.
It's a double whammy.
Right. I do think it's always been in the back of my head that my hobby is curating runs of things and curating my collection now. But when I retire, my hobby can be imparting these things to other collectors and other people who can do whatever they want with it. They can break up runs of things and sell them resell them if they want. They can keep them, whether I sell things in runs or single issues, blah, blah, blah. But like that'll be my hobby, will be listing things, shipping them out once I've retired.
Sure.
But I am what I've unexpectedly found myself at a crossroads as is I'm in no place to retire, and I'm brimming with too many comics. So something has to happen sooner.
It's the dark side of collecting, folks.
Yep. The difference between hoarding and collecting, organization.
Yikes.
I think
I don't organize. So.
I'm intensely organized.
Yeah. If I had if I had the setup you do, I would also be organized.
Yeah. Everything for me is by publisher and then in alphabetical order.
Yeah, see, that's what I don't like.
Yeah.
Just alphabetized, man.
So much easier to organize. When you have the amount of comics that we have, I think it's so much easier to say, like, this is in the middle or towards the end of Image Comics boxes 1 through 20, as opposed to saying this is somewhere between boxes 80 through like 102.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
The difference is I label my box alphabetically by what starts and ends the box.
But that's changing all the time, is it not?
Sometimes. Most times it doesn't.
Interesting.
So, like, you know, if a box starts with Spawn and ends with whatever.
See,
whatever comes after Spawn.
Here's my thing. Absolute Comics.
Sure.
Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Superman.
All start with A, so they go in the A box.
And they're completely fucking up my organizational of all my DC stuff, right? Because now
you gotta shift
now I have to. It's not a big deal when you have to shift Superman,
right?
Because it's like, how many books come after S?
Yeah.
And then I've got to add one more short box at the end.
Yeah.
When I add all these Absolute comics are at the very front of my collection. This is why I pulled Amazing Spider-Man out of my Marvel boxes, and it exists in its own thing because I was constantly having to shift everything down through like 30 boxes of Marvel.
Sure.
And now I can just do it through like 4 boxes, 5 boxes of Amazing Spider-Man or however many it is.
Sure. Or you can add a box to the front.
Add a 0 box, and then a -1 box, and then a -2 box.
Yeah, sure.
I probably have a box labeled -1 in one of my runs here.
It's all Rob Liefeld.
Yeah. Oh, they're like the books I'm embarrassed of.
Yeah.
Like hidden books.
Yeah. There's your tentacle books.
My occult books.
The occult section of Mike D's library.
In the negatives.
All right.
Let's talk new comic books.
Let's do it. I read 3. You read 5.
I read 5.
So let's alternate. You start.
Oh, that sounds good.
Right?
Well, we do have some overlap.
Okay, well, that's fine.
So we'll hit some.
All
okay.
right. You can still start.
I said I was going to do this and I didn't. I have a tablet with my little like synopsis takes on them, but I don't need it. I read these recently, so okay. Planet She-Hulk #1 is on a lot of people's pull lists this week. I think even if you're not reading some of this new Jonathan Hickman series of what is it, Imperial?
Yes.
And all of its tie-ins, a lot of people pick this up because there's just a lot of Planet Hulk fans and
look at the
She-Hulk
cover.
fans. The covers is Aaron Kuder did the cover and the interiors on this, and Stephanie Phillips is writing it. So a lot to easy to assume this will be a good comic book, and you assumed correctly.
Excellent.
If you did so. There's a lot to love about this. I think it delivers on the premise of being a Planet Hulk book and a Planet She-Hulk book. That it is very Game of Thronesy. There's a lot of like vying for power in this.
Okay.
There's like a certain amount of like convolution that's fun, that like this exists within a massive story arc that is an event and has the gravitas of an event, but it also stands enough on its own that it is like fun to read. It's like such a delicate sweet spot that I think like Stephanie Phillips is like chef's kiss for threading the needle like you did.
I think that's not surprising given her as a writer.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been surprising to me if
You're someone we can trust, Stephanie.
That's very true. But it would have been surprising to me if you were like, it's this grandiose story, planet spanning, whatever, and then didn't have the like personal story.
Yeah.
Because I think she certainly excels at grounded story.
And here's what I think is so good about that. While I'm saying it is so Planet Hulk, and there are like big fights and big monsters and like surprising deaths that have like weight to them, and like politics and vying for a throne, there is Jen in the middle of all of it who is just like, today, can I just have some cake and take a bath?
So Stephanie Phillips.
And that is like so fun to have, like, Jen, who is a powerhouse but is also a girl's girl.
Yeah.
That the dynamic, like, she's got so much honor and loyalty and is sticking it out here for her cousin who she loves so much, and is resolving problems as they come to her out of her sense of responsibility, but is just like kind of trying to find fun where she can find fun, and trying to get out of the seriousness of it when she can. She is still like Jen, attorney at law at her core, and it just reads so well. So this is like such a recommend for me if you're like, for people who are Hulk fans and She-Hulk fans, like, even if you're not reading Imperial, I think this is just fun to pick up as a moment in She-Hulk history that will persevere as like the time she was on Sakaar.
Oh, cool.
Like, it's so well written and such a fun read. So big recommend from me.
Cool. And that's not a small order considering the superstars that have written She-Hulk in the past.
Oh yeah, certainly.
It would stand up with titans like Charles Soule and Dan Slott.
Yep.
That's cool.
It's great.
Great to hear.
Fantastic issue.
I read Ice Cream Man,
Yeah.
The Mortal Coil Shuffle. This is a book that's having a book, I say. This is a comic that is having a moment because I think mostly because of the form factor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a story told through a deck of cards, numbered 1 through 55. You read it in order, and it comes packaged like a deck of cards for those of you that aren't watching the video. My concern with this was that it was going to be a difficult read because it's basically one panel per card, right? And if you can't lay it out, or you fat finger, or you whatever, you kind of ruin the story.
Yeah.
I didn't really have that experience with it. I'll show you. So the way I read it, and maybe this is going too far, but like, I had the deck and I flipped.
Not many comics get released as a deck of cards, so I think we can indulge ourselves at this
this one thing.
Moment of history.
Right. So I had the deck, right?
Yeah.
And then I read the card and then I put it face down.
Yeah.
The problem that I did come up with was that you pull the card up and you kind of get that moment of like
a reveal of the
next card.
Yeah.
So if you want to read this, I think the way to do it would be to like turn it sideways, or like somehow keep the deck out of your
and then
like
grab the next
direct
card.
line of vision. Yeah, while you're like getting the next card.
Yep.
So that was a unique experience trying to figure out the best way to like
absorb this
thing. Beyond that, I mean, it was pretty fun. You get most of the panels like kind of like this. You get a little panel of art with what would be the story written down on it. And then every once in a while, there's a card that's structured like
a Magic card, right?
Like a Magic the Gathering card, or
a business card.
A
cool.
business
what
card,
a fun idea.
Or
you can have like artifacts of the world,
or
an actual playing
card, and then there's like a credit card.
Yeah.
Right. So there are very unique parts of this in a story that also revolves around sort of cards and fortunes and chance and all those kinds of things. There's a really unique part of the story where a kid is playing Uno, and he's like, and then he drew, and you flip it over, and it's like an Uno reverse card, but it goes back like 3 panels, and it has like the same cards, and then it like does it again, and it reminded me of the Dan Slott Silver Surfer book.
Oh, that like inverted at the middle point.
Like, you flipped it over and it like told the same. It was that.
It's like someone stuck in a loop.
Yeah, it was that kind of experience with like, what is a comic and how can you play with the medium and all that kind of stuff. So, I would say not for the beginner.
Yeah.
Like,
sure.
I don't think anybody who's walking in and is like, hey, where's your Superman and also Ice Cream Man?
Yeah.
It has a target audience and it knows who it is. But it was cool, especially for like a one-off thing. And I think it's hard to like tell whether the price is right. So it's sold for $10, which for a deck of cards is not terrible. For a single issue comic is pricey, but it's not
so something so unique.
Yeah,
that is like
I had no problem spending $10 on it. So
same. I pre-ordered it, but same deal.
It's a worthwhile experience.
Yeah.
The story is cool given the like tie in to the form factor and having those unique elements of like flipping it over and it's the business card that they're talking about, or a guy's playing blackjack and he gets dealt the card that flips over. So,
and I'm a sucker for like artifacts and clues and things, and so this sounds like something that would be up my alley.
It's very cool. Yeah. It's very cool. I think you'll enjoy it. The only thing I wish they would have done is somehow make this also a functional deck of cards.
Sure. Like you could use it as like a poker cards? Is that what you mean?
If they had somehow made
like doubles as a...
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be the only thing that would improve it. But at the same time, I also get that they're like, this is not a deck of cards. This is a comic book. This is just a new form factor that we're trying to tell a story through.
There are like instructions on the back.
Yeah, it specifically says like this looks like a deck of cards, but it's a comic book. It's a story to be read. It's not a game to be played. To experience it correctly, read cards in order, starting with 1 and ending with 55. Don't shuffle it. Enjoy this comic book presented as 55 playing cards. So like, it says multiple times right on the thing that like, you're not buying a deck of cards.
Yeah, right. I assumed that this was going to be a sort of like discard kind of choose your own adventure sort of situation.
I also did.
Yeah.
And it's not that. Yeah. It's a story. It is literally a comic book told through a deck of playing cards.
I don't think it's been done before, so
yes, very unique. And it's a cool thing. I mean, this is one of those things that's like having it in your comic book collection is like a cool thing to have in your comic book collection.
Yes.
And I think it will continue to be that.
Yes, totally.
I'll say this too.
It's hard to put in a short box, but we'll find a spot for it.
It's hard to put in a short box. Maybe you could tape it to the top of the lid or something.
Yeah.
The story is good enough too that I will revisit this in the future.
Cool. Like, that's good to hear.
It's something that I think you could go through and pick up something as you read through it a couple of times.
Well, this is something that I think like some creators think about is that at some point someone will stumble on this.
Yeah.
And that will be a very interesting experience. that how does this thing persist through time as an idea or standalone piece of art that someone just like grabs in a thrift store and is like, what is this?
Yeah, when this is in the 2050 version of a dollar box.
Yeah. Right. That's really cool. I know that there's like, just to like draw a parallel to something, that there was like some Brian Eno album, which I don't know, whatever you want to think about Brian Eno, like
I don't know Brian Eno.
Did some like interesting things with music, but he created like one of the first like albums that used sampling.
Okay.
And then branded it as like a world music album. And the intent was just to give it like a random name and just like let it float out there and exist. And then people would come across it and be like, I don't know, it was an interesting cover for a world music album.
Yeah.
If this is in a 25-cent bin, like, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
And then you get this like bizarre thing that references other music from other places and creates this like bizarre thing. Like it's made to be stumbled upon. And
interesting. Yeah.
I think the deck of cards has a tinge of that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody at a garage sale, this will be in with the decks of cards.
Right.
And somebody will be like,
what is this?
This says it's not a deck of cards.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
Yeah, right. So that's really fun to me. I think there's like some real art to that.
Yeah. I think you'll get a kick out of this, especially because it's such a tactile experience.
Yes.
Like, that's like the whole point.
Yeah.
Is that it's like a thing in your hands.
I do think, like, I wonder if there's a version of this sold digitally, or if it was like, no, this is analog only.
Yeah,
I'll have to look that up.
It would be, I think, severely disappointing because you would just be like,
flicking through,
swiping constantly, and that would be annoying because that'd be 55 pages of flicking through and reading a paragraph.
Yeah.
Anyway, good stuff.
Cool. All right. We don't cover many Dynamite books on our podcast.
True, unless I'm reading them.
Yeah.
And it's an Army of Darkness book.
That's right. But you may be familiar with a series called Die, D-I-E, Namite, which is kind of like, I don't know, like a post-apocalyptic, like alternate reality.
It's their version of Marvel Zombies or Deceased.
Yes, exactly right. So this is a mini series called Blood Red that exists in like kind of Dynamite universe.
Okay.
In this world, we've got a character named Purgatory, who's like our famous Purgatory from Dynamite Comics.
Sure.
You got to kind of be a comic.
You gotta be a Dynamite head.
An indie comic OG to like get all these references. We'll breeze past them, just take them with a grain of salt if you're not an OG. But a character named Purgatory is kind of like runs this safe haven town. And then all of our like badass gals of the Dynamite universe are her like furies. They're like the sheriffs of this safe haven in a world of zombies. Dynamite exists, which has always been a publisher that has leaned into feminism, albeit through like somewhat of a male lens, right?
That's the kindest way you could have put that.
Yeah. Well, and I also think it's like it's a statement that has become more and more accurate as every year that's gone by.
So true.
Right?
So true.
And it is teetered into a sexual empowerment era.
Yeah.
And that has really like changed how we perceive and think about Dynamite as a publisher.
Yeah. So
it's interesting to see them have persisted through like the 90s and today. Whole separate conversation we could have an entire podcast about. In this series, though, Vampirella also exists, but she's a bit outside of everything else. She's like an independent contractor, PI type.
Jessica Jones.
Yes.
Okay.
The zombies, the most interesting part of this that I was getting at is the zombies are all men. Instead of zombies, they call them dead men. And so this is a virus that only affects the Y chromosome, and it brings men back from the dead. They are attracted to estrogen and come after women. So there is a really interesting feminist statement in all of this. That is a hoot. This is just kind of like doing its damn Dynamite thing and playing in that universe and having fun.
Yeah.
The twist on this series seems to be a UFO has crash landed, and it's got this like uber feminine alien on it.
Okay.
That the dead men are like immediately immensely attracted to this UFO, and is this character somehow like a savior of this post-apocalyptic world? Or like what role does she play as this like hyper feminine, hyper estrogen exuding being?
Yeah.
Right? That is she like the archetype of all women, or like what role does she play in service of this story? Could be something really interesting, but we don't know yet. We've only teetered into her just being introduced at the apex or climax cliffhanger, maybe, of this particular issue. So
that's so interesting, and it's so disappointing that they went with blood red as the subtitle.
I know. It is a little like part of me is like badass, like a period and like womanhood, and then another part of me is like, does it have to be that?
Yeah.
Like,
well,
the character is she's like bright red.
Sure, fine. Yeah. Okay, great. Does it have to be, number one, does it have to be a period joke?
Yeah.
And number two, as knowing nothing about Dynamite, well, I bought the original series, but like if you don't know anything about what Dynamite is, you'd be like, oh, that's a zombie book with vampires in it now.
Yeah.
And it's not that at all.
No, it's not that at all.
Why wouldn't you come up with Dynamite UFO?
This is the problem with so many Dynamite things, is that I feel like they're much more highbrow than their marketing would lead you to believe.
Totally.
Yeah. It's kind of an embarrassing thing to buy. When you pick these off the shelf, there's a lot of like smut covers, and it's just like, yeah, I'm a horny guy, and so I'm buying this. That's not what that's not the content of a lot of Dynamite comics.
But that the conversation that you have to have makes it worse.
Yeah.
When you have to be like, actually, it's a feminist treatise on, like...
I know. It sounds like you're making more of an excuse.
While you're holding your
overcompensating.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Completely.
Who wrote it?
Fred Van Lente.
Oh, yeah. So it's
great writer.
Yeah. He wrote the original, well, not the original, like Marvel Zombies, like 3 through 6.
Yeah, right. So something in the same vein from an OG Marvel Zombies writer.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go back and pick that up.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that's good.
Yeah.
Cool. This is our first crossover book.
Oh, it's first, next to my stack.
So we both read Alien versus Captain America.
Yep.
This is exactly the book I wanted it to be.
Okay. Not enough Captain America in it for my taste.
Really?
For a book called Alien versus Captain America?
I mean, that's fair.
He's barely in it. But I'll say it demanded a certain setup before delivering Captain America, and they delivered on having appropriately eased us into the concept.
Yes.
Yeah.
Given that you have to fold the peanut butter that is Alien into the chocolate that is Marvel lore.
Yes.
This was eloquently done.
Yes, I think so too.
So it's a World War II set Captain America book wherein the Howling Commandos have stumbled upon a town that is beset by aliens that Hydra has released. That's ultimately the setup of the book.
Yes, where we are eased into it.
Yes.
By having Baron von Strucker searching for what is the next big weapon for the
Red Skull.
The Hydra party, the Red Skull, basically like your stand-in for Nazis who were very into the occult and entertained these ideas of like ancient powerful artifacts.
And that's the cool part, is it parallels a lot of like real life Nazi expeditions to like Tibet
Yes.
To actually try and find the origin of
some like haunted book that would help them swing the tide of the war.
Well, and find what they thought was like the history of the Aryan race.
Yes,
they were
right,
like,
yeah.
We'll definitely find swastikas and white people here in Tibet.
Oh, good Lord.
Because Nazis are idiots.
Okay, so in this, they travel to like an Antarctic zone and get a local to take them into what used to be Adelan. Now, if you're a Marvelite, you'll know that Adelan is like the kingdom of the Inhumans, who in this world, it's posed that people always thought were gods. They preceded the human species and existed as these super powerful beings that we didn't have a capability of like truly understanding at the time, that they had like a different genome or were like an alien species, so they were treated as gods.
Yeah.
Their downfall was the introduction of the alien species, aliens, quote unquote, from the movies, which they kind of cordoned off and said, we're not going to let this spread. We've entombed them with us.
Right.
So the infestation of Earth stops here with us Inhumans. Now, in looking into trying to find ancient artifacts to empower the Red Skull, Baron von Strucker has then uncovered dormant alien eggs.
Nazi's gonna Nazi.
Which he's bringing back to the Red Skull to say, let's capitalize on these killing machines and send the world into chaos so it will then be ours for the taking.
Yeah.
That's the story. That's the majority of this comic book is all set up, which at the end, you've got like fucking Captain America's on the case because of course he is.
He throws his shield and slices a chest burster in half.
Yeah.
Fucking rules.
It is one of those comics that takes itself far more seriously than it needed to. And that has made it beyond a success, in my opinion. Would you agree with that? That this could have just been very campy.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
We've got like a hot superhero guy, like killing aliens and like very like action movie-y.
Yeah.
Without a lot of explanation. It is treated as if it is introducing the concept of aliens to you for the first time and easing you in a way that doesn't make the imagery of Captain America fighting an alien corny, which is like quite an achievement.
It has reverence for both IPs.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Frank Thierry,
right?
We'll give credit to as the writer of this, who did that great job of giving these the gravitas they demanded.
Yeah. It again, very fun. It read like you gave like Steve McQueen a 1960s war movie. Like it was like, this is like legitimately good. And it shouldn't be. This movie is about guys escaping from Nazi prison, but somehow it's a very, very good movie.
Yeah.
It was that.
Yep.
This book is about Captain America fighting aliens.
I could say you could also go into this not knowing like that Adelan is a place and that the Inhumans are a thing and still enjoy it. It's just extra pepper on your potatoes.
For sure.
If you know that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It never ceases to amaze me as, again, a hyper fan of Alien, that the stuff that Marvel is doing with this IP is like so good.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the Predator stuff that Ed Brisson did. Like, it had no right to be this good.
And I'm somebody who takes an immediate pass on a lot of these things because I don't like the like IP grab kind of like, let's smash two things together.
Yeah.
And there are some cases where I'm doing myself a disservice by writing some of these things off. And this is one of those cases.
But you didn't.
But I didn't this time.
And you're all the better for it.
Because we cover, if we didn't have a podcast that covered first issues, I never would have bought this comic book. And I'm glad that I did.
Yeah. And it's only like a 4-issue mini.
Yeah.
Right? So
fun and easy, in and out.
We're going to get some good stories.
Yep.
My hope is that we get a Red Skull alien hybrid. at the end. Like an alien that looks like
Did you see the preview for cover 2?
I don't remember it. I'll look at it right now.
It is like, there's Captain America doing the like, oh, that's not the one I'm thinking. Maybe maybe there's a variant that is coming out, but there's a Captain America doing the kind of like, I want you, like Uncle Sam sort of thing, but with just the face hugger completely on his face.
Oh my God. Yep. That'll be one to add to the collection.
Some really fun imagery with this too.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Great book.
All right. Back to me.
Be my guest.
Harley Ivy, Life and Crimes. This one is written and illustrated by Erica Henderson.
I heard great things about this.
It's really good. I think Erica Henderson has really captured the voice of what I like about Harley Quinn. And she's done this with, there's been like a handful of Erica Henderson DC one-shots or like minis where she's done art and writing. And she writes characters with so much charm and brings so much to like the facial expressions and emotion of her characters. She's got like what I would call like a semi minimalistic, cartoonistic style, but
it's very Darwin Cook.
But never skimps on the emotion, attitude, and humor that it brings. Can be so expressive with that style, whereas some people, when they go minimal, lose that. Like, this is a superpower of Erica Henderson, I think. And this comic book is a situation wherein someone is asking Harley and Ivy how they met, and it is serving as kind of like a reminder or a retelling or a de facto, like as it stands in the DC universe that exists today. This is now like the canon of how Harley and Ivy came together.
It's the Killing Joke of Harley and Ivy.
Yeah, that's right. Really breezy read, really fun, like endlessly charming.
Sure.
Like while also carrying like very heavy subject matter. Like, it captures the Joker Harley relationship and the abuse, like, very literally.
Okay.
Like, you see that dynamic play out. Fully unveiled for you, but manages to tread this line of carrying very serious, weighty subject matter while also remaining like I said, breezy and like charming in parts. Is just like, what a needle to thread, and like what a thing that, like, you know, one page can have you giggling and then the next page can have you be like, oh, my heartstrings. So something that for Harley and Ivy fans, I think could persist as a real classic.
Sure.
And something I'm excited to continue reading. It is also, like I mentioned, kind of being told in the past tense as like a recap, and we don't know who is asking them how they met.
Oh, that's interesting.
Part of me, if I'm going to put my like speculator hat on, there is a part of this where they're talking about like kissing, and the third person goes, "Ew, gross, get back to the story."
Yeah.
Is this person asking them about how they met their potential future child?
How I Met Your Mother situation?
Yes. How cool would that be to reveal like the coming of a child that has not been introduced yet? Like, especially like the child of a queer couple, which like you really don't see very often in mainstream comic books. Like, that would be rad if that's what this ends up being.
Totally.
I'm not saying that's what it is. There's no hint that that's what it is, aside from my own kind of like putting like what I think would be interesting on it. But
buy 3 copies right now.
But if you're a speculator, I would expect by the last issue for there to be a reveal of who is asking them this stuff. And is it Power Girl? Is it Catwoman? Is it just one of their friends who they're like shooting the shit with, who is catching up. It could easily be that.
Sure.
But if it
could be.
But if it were their child from the future and then be a character that was introduced that we then like have born in mainline continuity like a year from now, that would be rad.
Totally.
That would be rad. So a series to keep an eye on, I think.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Such a good book. There's a line in it. We live in the Midwest, if you don't know. And there's a line in it that's like, there's not really a desire for insane clowns outside of the Midwest. Like Harley says that when she's just like, where's my place in the world? Yeah. And I was like, it's such a good insane clown posse joke. And it's funny. Like 100% like the Midwest is their people.
Gathering of the Juggalos is out in St. Louis. That's right. So my last book of the week, couldn't pass up a Tim Seeley book. Yeah. So I picked up No Place out on Ignition. And I'm probably going to say this every time I get an Ignition book, but fun fact, all their books are individually numbered.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I did some digging around. Every Ignition book has this little 4-digit code on the back. And I was like, oh, that's like you get a digital copy, whatever. But I went to their website and like there's no redeem now, whatever. Yeah, all their books are like literally 1-for-1 because they're individually numbered.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Cool. So you know the print run basically of every book.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Right. So I'm sure that number 0069 is like the one to have, like.
Definitely.
Right. Like there's going to be those people that get the 420 copy or the.
That's okay. This is a huge collector thing I've found on. And I don't know why every once in a while Reddit serves me certain things that I'm just like, how did I get in this algorithm? I like lingered on one thing once and now it's like, this is all you're interested in. But one of the things I'm getting is dollar bill collecting, specifically people who collect unique serial numbers.
Oh.
So there will be serial numbers that are like 101010, like palindromic ones or like really early, like ones within like 1 and 100, and it's so interesting how much of a market there is for these like weird like specific serial numbers.
Sure. And 8008 42069. Yeah.
Imagine pulling that bill. People will pay a ton of money for stuff like this.
Oh yeah.
In a way that like you're like, someone spends $100 for a $1 bill that has a funny serial number.
Sure.
And like
it's funny, Mike. It adds to the bit that I spent $100 on it. Do you understand?
Right. It's all tracking for me.
That's right.
But it's a whole new world that hadn't occurred to me.
Yeah.
But I could see that being a thing eventually that like, let's say, and I don't want to say that an Ignition book like is going to be the next Saga or something.
Hey, The Beauty got picked up. That's an Ignition book.
Let's say it happens that maybe you're like, imagine, just to put it in like context of a book like Saga, imagine buying your copy of Saga and I've got issue 100 even.
Yeah.
Or I've got issue 500 even, whatever that is. Or I've got issue 666.
Yeah.
Whatever you're into.
Right.
Like having an interesting number of it is something that would be fun for collectors to be like, dude, did you know I own the 666 copy of blah, blah, blah.
Totally.
Like,
if I had the 2112 copy of No Place and I'm like a huge Rush fan.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'd be like, look at the thing. Look at the thing that I have.
Totally.
Yeah.
That adds a layer to comic book collecting that is like could be nothing, but is also very fun to think about.
Totally. Yeah. It makes, at bare minimum, when you pick up an Ignition book, you're gonna pick up the whole stack.
Yeah.
And look and see what numbers they have.
What kind of run of numbers am I in?
Yeah. Anyway, so beyond all that, No Place is a book unlike any other I've ever read, I think.
Whoa, big statement.
Yeah. So in a lot of ways, now that I have read through the entire issue, In a lot of ways, it's very familiar.
Uh-huh.
But reading through it the first time, it was very fresh.
Yep.
Which is cool given the story that it tells. Additionally, I did want to say, so Tim Schuele's a Chicago guy, right?
Yeah.
The opening part of the story takes place in Pilsen, which is a real Chicago
Mm-hmm.
neighborhood. My buddy Kevin lived in Pilsen.
Okay.
For like 2 years, 3
Yeah.
years. So
I went to a concert in Pilsen this month.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So I sent him a picture of the taco stand that features in the thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh shit, that looks like the taco factory or the tortilla factory that was like down the street from my house."
Yeah.
So always fun when like local creators include stuff.
I love that. Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So No Place. This is about a girl who disappeared for whatever it was, 8 years or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think it says on the back. Whatever, a number of years. And she, there was a big manhunt. Nobody can find her, whatever. When she comes back, she has claimed that she was in this mystical land where tigers fly and she meets elves and she fights the tree people and all this kind of like Chronicles of Narnia style stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like a news thing. So everybody like knows who she is and they're making fun
from
of her.
when she went missing.
Yeah, from when she went missing. Well, and then when she came back and she was like, I was in Narnia.
Yep.
Everybody's like, oh, that's the crazy girl that went to Narnia, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So in the public eye, she's this crazy girl.
Mm-hmm.
She can't really hold a job because everybody knows her face.
Yeah.
At home, her mom and dad are like pretty distant from her because she was missing and then she came back. And now all of a sudden she has this like affliction or something where this like black goo keeps appearing in her room.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knows how it's happening. Well, turns out she actually was in this place. She wasn't crazy. She was actually in Narnia. And the black goo is caused by these creatures kind of coming into our world that she keeps having to kill because they are dying. Right?
Okay.
So like the little elf guy that she knew from Narnia, you know, Bartleby or whatever, is like, oh, why won't you come back to Narnia? We miss you. You help us, whatever.
Yeah.
But he's like half zombie. So she kind of like mercy kills him. Right.
Okay.
And he dissolves into black goo, which her mom has to clean up like every day.
Uh-huh.
So her worldly, earthly life is like in tatters. Right.
Yeah.
She can't go back to this magical place because this land is like dying. Right. Okay. So she gets found.
Jesus, there's more for this first issue.
There's more.
This one's got layers.
That's what I'm saying. She gets found by this guy who takes her to this organization who are like, they find people like this that have gone to these magical places.
Yeah.
And are now endeavoring to save those magical places. And it's run by Dorothy Gale from The Wizard of Oz. So her and like Alice,
she's been to Oz. Yeah.
And like Alice was one of the like heads of this thing.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
we're tying together all these famous mystical other worlds into one connected universe.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Exactly. So she
that's rad.
Sort of reluctantly joins this organization. And will either, I mean, we'll see how the story plays out. I guess is this new, is it seeping into our world and she needs to hold it back? Does she need to go back to save it? Does she whatever? So,
I love it. I'm a sucker for stuff like this.
Yeah.
Did you read any of the Lev Grossman books? The like magician series?
No, I've heard those are very good.
They are good.
Yeah.
I think you would like them.
Probably.
I'll say that the first one is a little slow to go.
Yeah.
That it reads like a more like it reads as like a grounded Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Where you're like, where is this going? And then it gets fucking crazy, and then the next two books are wild.
Well,
so it's like it's worth putting yourself through.
I think that's sort of like sort of the pill you have to swallow with
some of this stuff that's got a lot of like build up and context.
Yeah, you have to learn what the rules are
for there to be stakes later.
Yeah, like you have to get through the setup to get to the story. You got to eat your vegetables before
otherwise
you get
it's
to the
just
hamburger.
all magical nonsense.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's like, why would I care about any of the rules?
Why do I give a shit about any of this?
Yeah.
So, very, very cool book. Really cool setup. The mystical land, whatever, sort of exists in like it's a fairly unique thing. It's like a jungle land. So sort of Narnia meets like the Phantom.
Yeah.
Where, a tiger has wings, and that's the only artifact she has is a feather from this tiger.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway.
Did you ever watch the OA?
No, I heard that's really good though. I've got that on my watch list.
Okay. This concept is giving a little OA to me.
Okay.
I'll say I really enjoyed that series, but it also has one of my like horror triggers that I don't like.
Oh, sure.
That I try to stay away from. That I honestly don't think bothers most people.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go ahead and say what it is. It's the captivity thing.
Oh, sure.
I hate seeing when someone is just like
chained
kept in captivity.
Sure.
That like you're a normal free person and now you are like in someone's basement in a room like stuck.
Sure.
Like that stuff. I don't know why it triggers me so bad, but like I cannot handle it. And that's a big part of it.
I got a movie you should watch if you can stomach it. It's called Pet.
Pet, I haven't heard of.
Well, yeah. I don't want to spoil it because it's a movie worth watching.
Yeah.
But I'll spoil it for you off air,
okay.
So you can like see if it's worth sitting through.
Yeah. There's also another movie that I watched recently that had like a tinge of like the brief moment of this, and I was glad I powered through it.
Yeah.
That we'll talk about maybe off air so we don't spoil random things for no reason.
Yeah, sometimes with horror movies you have to desensitize yourself, so that things don't affect you deeply, like on an emotional level. And you're a better person because of it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. We'll tell ourselves that.
Yeah. What's your last book?
Okay, the last book I saved on purpose because of spoilers.
Yeah.
Knightfight.
Oh, yeah, you brought a gun to a night fight.
So, yeah, exactly right. So if you're not reading DC KO, enjoy this conversation.
Yeah.
If you are reading it but not caught up, maybe skip.
There's only one issue. Get caught up.
Yeah, there's not a ton to catch up on. But in any case, Batman, spoilers abound for Knightfight or DCKO beyond this point. Okay, so in DCKO, Batman doesn't make it beyond a certain point. Yeah. But what we find out from like the climax of that, like, oh, Batman has died, he has exited the fight, he's lost his battle. But because Bruce is Bruce, he always has a contingency plan.
Yep. Zur-En-Arg takes over.
That would be something.
Damn it.
He has installed a boom tube in his suit that says,
got to.
If I go inactive, basically what's happening is like once any of these characters lose the DCKO fight, they are put in stasis.
Sure.
So he is programmed a boom tube to say, if I become inactive, i.e. I get put in stasis, transport me back to Gotham so I can either continue my shit in Gotham or I can rejoin DCKO so I can affect the outcome in a way that we need to.
Sure.
Except because of like maybe the Apocalypse Heart or whatever the thing is that's powering this thing.
The KO MacGuffin.
His boom tube has sent him to a future alternate reality Gotham in which that world's Bruce Wayne has dipped himself in the Lazarus pits to save himself, which is so clever because it explains why this Bruce Wayne is still the same age in this future hypothetical Gotham, right? So when Nightwing finds him, it's like it makes sense that you are 40-year-old Bruce Wayne and not like 65 at this point, right?
Right.
But in this world, Nightwing has taken the mantle of Batman. And Batman, Bruce Wayne, has killed all of the Robins.
Whoa!
So there's now like a Robins Inc., like this incorporation that is like training people throughout the world and like creating all this like good, and they're doing all the things that like you always hypothetically talk about, like, well, there's billionaires running the like running Gotham and has this mega corporation like an Elon Musk type.
Yeah.
But he's like beating the shit out of the Penguin with his spare time instead of like putting money into infrastructure.
Right.
So you've got like your Nightwing, who is like in the name of the Robins that were lost, has started this Robins Corp, which is this like big charitable organization, but he's also taken up the fight of Batman to like do the things that Batman does while also supporting the community in a way that he needs to support the community. He's created they've created this like beautiful world. But our Bruce has found himself in this situation, and everyone perceives him as
this monster,
evil Bruce.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So he's got to either figure out a way to like get back to his own reality, get back to DCKO, or play some other game in this universe to figure out how to get out of the circumstances that he's ultimately found himself in. So it poses an interesting scenario and just gives us a fun way to keep Bruce busy during DCKO.
Sure.
Right?
Because somebody at DC was like, we can't sideline Batman.
Well, part of the thing is like, it would be a if you're like, oh yeah, Batman and Superman make it like to the quarterfinals.
Right. Yeah, right.
Like
we have to kill Batman,
like,
but we can't kill
like,
Batman.
Can we just assume that like the Justice League like all wins all the way down the line?
Yeah.
Like that's not interesting. What's interesting is that Batman gets eliminated early on.
Yeah.
But you don't want to sideline him for the entirety of a cool, fun event.
Well,
right? So this is what a clever
put butts in seats.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a clever way to keep him somehow preoccupied while this stuff is going on.
Who wrote this?
This is Joshua Williamson.
Okay.
No stranger to Batman, no stranger to DC.
I'll allow it.
So if you have a book that you need a solid writer who's going to give you above the standard fare quality for a fun book, Joshua Williams is your go-to guy. Williamson. Sorry.
Butts in seats.
Yeah.
This book sounds there's I think some people might find it hard to believe, but there exists a line wherein a book is too goofy even for me.
Yeah.
But it's like
sure.
Batman has a boom tube in his suit, and it takes it, but actually it doesn't work, and it takes him to the future where he's actually a bad guy. But Robin actually is Batman now, but Bruce killed all the Robins. It has that tinge of I pulled my superheroes out of my toy chest. And I'm coming up with the story on the fly.
Yeah.
But I think I trust Williamson enough.
Yeah.
To like give it a chance.
He does great Batman stuff.
Yeah, he does.
I'm a big fan of his. On the whole, just speaking to this week as a whole.
Yeah.
I looked at all the first issues and I said, damn, not a great week for First Issue Club. A lot of the first issues are steeped in events or other proprietary stuff like 20th century pictures, like tie-ins and all these other things that are kind of like convoluted and maybe not as accessible as you would like to have an offering on First Issue Club, where our kind of thesis statement is to give people something accessible to join the conversation every single week, that you can come in as a new fan and enjoy something or be turned on to something that you will like. But what I'm walking away with is, even though I looked at all these things and said they all scream inaccessibility, even Dynamite as a tie-in is something that is steeped in a pre-existing thing but is now like a new side story in that thing. All of these comics, I felt like, really surprised me with how easy they were to jump into, regardless of how familiar I was with the event or whatever else.
Yeah.
And maybe part of that is, as a seasoned comic book fan, there's certain things that I'm willing to like take with a grain of salt and just move on.
Sure.
Whereas like other people may not get that same gear shift the way I do.
Sure.
But even still, I think it's a much better week for first issues than I anticipated. So if you passed up a lot of these books this week because you thought the same, I think there's a handful of comics to go grab before they sell out. Because there's a lot of these comics were really good this week.
Yeah. I think a lot of times I certainly am guilty of like looking at the breadth and depth of like event books and stuff and just being like, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do any of that. I kind of did that with Age of Revelation.
Sure.
Right. But like you said, whatever it was, Sinister Six or.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Like that kind of stuff. Like I need to remind myself that like, you don't get to write a comic book that's released widely to the public without being a talented person.
Yes.
And so like all of these creative teams deserve to have the audience that they have. And like, I think 99% of comics you pick up, you'll find something to enjoy.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I feel like I continuously tell people who are like, I don't know where to start in comic books.
Yeah.
And it's like, try some different stuff, explore some different things. And when you find a writer whose voice you like, just start buying whatever the fuck they're writing.
Exactly.
Because you will have a good time. Yeah. And like, we've got relationships with these writers who consistently do us right. And this week we have Joshua Williamson, we've got Stephanie Phillips, we've got Fred Van Lante, we've got Tim Seeley, we've got all these, Frank Thierry, we've got so many people who do such a good job with us on a regular basis and deliver quality stuff, that whatever they're writing, wherever it is in the middle of a convoluted story or at the very beginning of a new adventure, they're doing a great job in setting it up for you and handling it right.
That's right.
If I had to pick a book of the week, I don't know if I could this week. I might just say Harley and Ivy.
Sure.
Because it exists in this like fun middle zone where it like almost feels like an indie book.
Yeah.
That's like a relationship between two superheroes, because it's a fun mini series that exists as like a singular piece that I think might persist through time and be looked at as like the relationship origin book.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's something that it may be fun to own that one in floppy and be part of the conversation as that one continues to unfold, just because it's a really good first issue.
Sure. Especially with Harley Quinn having another moment. They released the teasers of Absolute Harley.
Yes. So, yeah.
You got all that kind of stuff and whatever. If I had to pick a book of the week, boy, it's tough to not pick Aliens versus Captain America.
I know.
Boy, that's
knowing you too, it's like two of your favorite things.
Yeah, I know, it's really tough. But honestly, all three of the books that I read were absolute slam dunks, and the Mortal Coil thing was just such a unique experience. Yeah. It's tough to not pick that. Yep. It's tough to not pick No Place because it's so like it's just such a cool book. Like it was so fresh.
Yep.
I don't know.
Exciting time to be a comic book fan.
It always is.
Great to support creative people doing their damn thing.
That's right.
In a great way. So happy to have recorded another episode of First Issue Club with you and documented another great week of comic books.
That's right. Come check us out. We're going to be at TowerCon again. That's this Sunday, the 9th of November.
Yep.
The year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2025. We'll be drinking some beers. We'll be buying some books. We'll be selling some books. We'll be having some fun. Crisp high fives all around.
That's right. Get your free high fives. First Issue Club at TowerCon.
We'll see you later.
Bye. First Issue Club podcast is brought to you by Boulevard Brewing Company, the people responsible for our favorite drinks, the Space Camper Cosmic IPA family of beers. Our show is edited and produced by our hosts Mike DeStacy, Greg Lichtig, and Andy Vargas. You can find us on social media at First Issue Club, and you can join the supporters who keep our humble podcast going on our Patreon at patreon.com/firstissueclub.